Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Working Man Ron Doyle. I've got a little bit of a project and I want to give you a tool tip that could possibly speed up one of your projects. If you ever worked on a kitchen sink where you have a triple tap hole in a stainless steel kitchen sink and you needed to increase one of the hole sizes to accommodate a soap dispenser, a sprayer, water purifier tap, something on that lines, I want to give you a tip on how to take an existing hole size and increase it with a mandrel and hole saws in your cordless drill. Let me turn the camera around and show you what I've got. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I've got my assortment of hole saws that I keep on this particular truck. And I've got a little project where this particular hole size is not big enough for what I'm looking for. Yes, you're not supposed to drill out a PVC reducer bushing, which this is actually 1.5 inches to 3 inches, and I am actually building something out of these reducer bushings. I need to take the existing size that you see here, and I need to increase that size hole with this hole saw. Well, if you look, that's going to play a little skippity-doo-dah on drilling that plastic flange out in the center, and you are not going to be able to self-center this and having it symmetrically cut. So you can do this on a kitchen sink, you can do this on anything that has two different size holes where there is a difference of 1/2 inch or greater. Now what I've got here is the old Linux book. This book's probably 25 years old. I keep it with my hole saw kit. Most people don't know about this, but you can actually enlarge an existing hole, and if you choose to read this, go ahead and still pause it, and I'll bring you in for a close-up. And this is basically the instructions on how to accommodate that. But I'm going to show you a little video on how to do it. Now, I've got a broad assortment here, everything down from a 9/16 hole saw all the way up to a 6 3/8 hole saw. It's got carbide for cutting out ceiling cans. But this is an assortment that I've collected over about a 30-year period. I have found that there's good quality hole saws and there's cheap quality hole saws. If you're a homeowner, don't take offense to this. This particular hole saw has a special mandrel. These are stamped sheet metal. You don't see any weld back on it, and it's very, very paper thin. Unlike some of your better hole saws are actually going to be threaded, and they have a chunk of steel at the base of them to actually support themselves. Most of these hole saws are a name brand, such as this is DeWalt. I've got a lot of Linux. Hole saws in here. I've got a Morris hole saw, which is actually a little on the cheaper quality. They use a stamped steel. You can see that threaded ring in the center is stamped out and it's welded. You can see the weld line. I'm not as crazy about this, but this was bought for a special job, and I needed a 3 1/8 inch hole saw, as you can see, to do that particular job. Most of your better hole saws, here's a 3 3/4. It has extra holes for doing your punch out, and if I'm not mistaken, this is also for the largest mandrel that they make. This is for the medium-sized mandrel they make. That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, is mandrels. Okay, Linux has a broad assortment of mandrels. I can tell you, I know for sure that that's a Linux. That's one of my favorites. It's basically a push-pull design where that pushes down and pushes up to actually engage the pins. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. You can see that does the engagement. These are okay. You spin the nut loose, you pull the plate up, you spin it on, and after you get your holes aligned, you push it down and you lock this nut. I've had some people working with me that forgot to lock the nut, and they've actually ruined my mandrel and the hole saw and seized them together. The hole saws rely on these pins for torque, so that you don't actually screw and booger the threads up that are on these. These are all the same. If you notice, there is a couple differences. This is a 7/16 shank, which will fit your Milwaukee quick lock chucks. This is a 7/16 shank. This is a 7/16 shank. And these are 3/8 shanks. If you're going to a store, try to stick with the 7/16 shanks, and I will show you why. Now, all of these bits that you see here are actually of a 7/16 shank. That's specifically designed for a quick lock feature. Milwaukee is one of the companies that is actually doing a quick lock feature where you pull this collar back and that extension falls out. I have three different sizes here, as you can see. They all work the same, but they are specifically designed for 7/16 shank drill bits. So if you're an electrician and you're building your tool collection, you need to try to stick with 7/16 for the versatility that it offers over far and above 1/4 inch shank and 3/8 shank. Now, you are limiting yourself to the size drill that you install it in, but let's admit it, these are high torque applications right here, especially this long drill bit. Far long gone are the days where you have to break out an Allen wrench to take a 7/16 shank out of an extension for a drill. They're far gone. I don't use that anymore. The only reason I do use that is because if you drill a through hole, this sleeve size will pass through that hole diameter. This one will not. So I'm not saying to throw these away. Keep these for special application, such as what you see here, as long as the bit is bigger than the body of the shank. These are the way to go. Now, getting back to the hole saws that you see in front of me, mandrels that I like and mandrels that I don't like. Like I said, I love this mandrel. This is awesome. These mandrels have specific purposes. This mandrel has a specific purpose. This is a quick lock. I did find out after buying this that this is very specific to certain size drill bits. This is a Linux, as you can see, but if you look, it is a shoulder grabbed design. So the shoulder, this is a spring load and it slides up. If I can put it in my hand so you can see, you pull this and that springs back so that you can spin this bit off. I bought this mandrel thinking that it would be a help and a convenience to me. I found out after buying that mandrel that I only have 2 drill bits that mandrel will actually work with. The larger mandrels that have a stepped shank, such as this one right here, will not fit that Linux quick grip. These are the smaller mandrels. They have a smaller diameter, and they actually make a reducer that you can screw onto this thread so that you can hold a larger drill in there. I have taken those out of my truck because for the simple fact that you will stretch the threads if you put too big of a drill, a hole saw, in this mandrel. I try to use this one for the small sizes, and you can see I bought different assortment. I ended up converting all my hole saws over to the Spider Quick Lock. This is a patented design. This is not a sponsored video by no means. It's a Snap Lock Plus 901, and the way that these work is I can take either one of these hole saws and I can slip it onto the end. Trying to do it one-handed, and I can push that down and that locks on. Now you drill through a 2x4, you're going to have a slug that's going to get stuck in here. The way you remove it is to pull that, slide this off, take the drill bit, jam it inside of the hole saw as so, and the slug pops out. These are really, really nice. You get a kit with this and 2 of these arbors that actually screw into your existing hole saws. And I've limited myself to 1 5/8 for the simple fact that I don't want to over torque this adapter into the hole saw and render it useless stripping the threads out where I can't put it on either one of these. So I'm limiting my torque factor with small drill bits with this size mandrel. But my go-tos for this, these are my favorite bigger hole saws. That's my favorite. That's not what this video is about. I'm rambling on a little bit. This specific video that I have for you is about these hole saws. Each and every one of these will do the enlarged existing hole feature. As you see right there, I'm going to set you up and show you how all this is done with these particular mandrels. I've already got these taken apart. Let me show you how to do it. Now, what we're trying to accomplish here is taking this hole saw, using this as a guide in this plastic reducer bushing, and we're drilling out this size hole in the center of this bushing. You take one of your mandrels that you have, and you take this snap ring out. Sometimes you can take them off of the pair of needle nose pliers. This snap ring, this is an E-clip. That's an E-clip, and this one right here is actually a snap ring. You take this out with needle nose pliers. I've already done that. If you take the snap ring off, you back this nut off, and you pull out the spring-loaded collar that you see going out with the pin. So this pin is these pins are attached to this collar. You want to spin that off after you remove the E-clip. What you're going to be left with is a mandrel that doesn't have any guts to it. You're going to take your guide. This is your guide hole saw. It fits for the center. You're going to stick it in as so. You're going to tighten this up just like you normally would for a hole saw. Give it a little snug. Take the hole saw that you actually want to cut the diameter out of. Insert the back of the mandrel into the hole like this and spin this on. Tighten this up by hand. I'm going to insert a washer. I'm going to insert a jam nut that some of these hole saws have. I'm going to tighten this jam nut up like so. We're going to chuck this into our drill. Try not to smash your drill on any exposed threads. You don't want to lose you don't want to mess your mandrel. I'm going to reposition the camera, and I'm going to show you how to drill these bushings out with this setup. Had a dead battery. Let's try this again. Drilling out the 1.5 to 3 inch bushing. It's going to be guided in there like that. We're drilling out the center. You want to pull the drill up and down to release the chips. PVC builds heat, it fuses back together. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly the result I was looking for. Taking a small hole and drilling it out to make it a bigger hole. There's the core. The core from that one has already came out. I say it came out, the core is actually in between the two bits, the small bit and the big bit. Now the best way to get that core out that's stuck in between the two of them is take the drill bit out, take it out of your chuck, do the reverse process of taking this apart. And keep in mind, put your gloves on, this drill bit is going to be extremely hot where you've created friction between the two of them. But that wasn't overly tight. The drill bit spins off, and we'll take a screwdriver that might be a little bit of a challenge. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's taking the core out of the center of a reducer bushing. That is the exact result that I am looking for, leaving these fins in. The part that I am putting in here, I'm gluing in place, and I need those as spacers. And being able to marry these two together to get a guide for one hole and drill the opposite hole is a win-win in my book. If y'all like the video, give me a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for future videos and tool tips on things that Working Man Around Door does. Until the next time, stay safe. You all have a wonderful day.